Hey, Kinsey, how you doing? All right, let me see. You know what? We don't have your written summary. Don't forget this asks for a written summary. So where is it? Include a brief reminder of what the story is and communicate with your type design. So definitely you want to add that. Definitely, that's a requirement. So we need to see that. Okay, so we've got title, uppercase and lowercase character set. That's numeric character set. That's great. Okay, punctuation. You're missing out. Let me see. Well, I'll talk about that in a sec, but definitely you need we have the list right here, but there's definitely a question mark missing. I think maybe an apostrophe. What else was missing? Colon, semicolon. Yeah, definitely want to include all of the required uh, punctuation characters. Now let's go and take a look. And I think that you've got some good stuff going on here. Now, just basically looking at it like this is, now, I like to rotate things and turn them upside down, which I've already done with this, and I keep on pointing to the same thing over and over. There's a couple of issues, I think, that are inherent with both upper and lowercase. Now, the types, the letter forms up until right here are great, right? But then the V, W, X, Y, and Z seem to be identical, other than that descender for the lowercase y. But these are all the same. So and plus these are wider than any of your other letter forms. So I would redesign the lowercase letters. These are gorgeous. They're beautiful. There's such a nice variation between upper and lowercase here, but these are identical. So I would definitely redesign the lowercase letter forms. Just to provide some variety and some different visual differences from those of the uppercase counterparts. Also, in the last one to V, W, X, Y, and Z, the last five letters of the alphabet are much wider. Now, I know that the kerning is increased right here because it looks like we're packing these letters in pretty tight here to fit, but then you realize you had enough space, so you pack these in, opened up the space between the letters. That's one thing, but the U, V, W, X, Y, and Z are all much thicker stroke weights than the remainder of the alphabet. We can clearly see that as we take a look. Even do one of my little tricks here. Let's rotate the view, and we can definitely see it here. See how much thicker those are? We can even turn it upside down and get another. See right there. Now, right now, if you were to show this to somebody, the eye immediately goes right where? Here. Right there. Because that has got heavier visual weight than the counterparts. So the eye is immediately drawn right there. So that should be an indication that that area is different than the other areas and should be adjusted accordingly. So definitely I recommend redesigning the U, V, W, X, Y, Z to reduce the stroke weights. Also redesign the U, V, W, X, Y, Z in the lowercase to reflect lowercase letters that are not identical to the uppercase counterparts. The character set 0 through 9, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't have the charm. It just doesn't have the charm. I think one of the charming things about this is it almost looks like it's been chiseled. There's some irregularities in here that really add to the charm of the letter forms, like these, like this kind of this vertical stem on the L that's kind of curved over like that. The fact that some of these have this inherent stress related to them, whereas others have a different angle stress. And I think that you've cleaned up the consistency in there quite a bit, but nonetheless, there's a number of optical relationships here that loan themselves to what would be considered something like a hand chiseled typeface. But the lowercase are just really, really super uniform. So I would redesign the lowercase letter forms to try to capture the charm of the kind of inconsistencies present in the uppercase letter forms. And then finish out your punctuation set too as well. Now, to me, I don't know. I mean, it's like that exclamation point is just a perfect vertical stem, right? It's got consistent stroke way through. We don't see that anywhere in any other letter forms. So there is no such thing in this typeset as a true vertical stem that's got consistent stroke weight throughout. We just don't see it. Therefore, I recommend you borrow the stroke from some other letter form, maybe the L, H, the I, the L, and use that for your exclamation point. Then don't forget your question mark, colon, semicolons, quote marks, etc. All right, and then finally, in the title itself, I think that right now we have this, again, we have this super uniform bar on the cap T, whereas we see the cap T over here. It doesn't have this, it's not a uniform crossbar on the top of that. It's not, it's got a little kind of a hiccup right there. It's got a little inconsistencies in there, and that adds to the charm, but this is just, seems like just a straight up rectangle, like a rectangular rule right there. So I would definitely try to design that as an extension of this and not just a perfectly geometric rule. All right? All right, great job. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to clarify. But I'd like to see those changes made for your final submission. Or if you want to submit prior to the final submission, I'll be glad to give additional comments. All right, great job. Thank you very much.